It's the Slug, it's the Llandow Racecourse. It's another episode of Worn Out Racing. Right, welcome back. I have to start this video off by saying I've been wrong this whole time. So I keep on saying that my track day is on the 4th, because I thought the 4th was on a Saturday, but it's not, it's the 3rd. So it's a good job I didn't keep saying the 4th, because I'd have turned up on the wrong day, even though I kind of knew when it was. Anyway, that's beside the point. I've already jumped straight back into getting the Slug ready. So I'm just taking these, which are the 4 spare steel wheels that are constantly in my way, but they're really useful. Because I'll be taking the comps and the rain sports off the turbo to put on there. I'll drive down on them, and the weather report is looking a little bit shaky for Saturday, as far as I think it's about 50% chance of rain. So they should be pretty good. They should do pretty well. I've got the R888s as well, so they're supposed to be going on this. But if you've seen any of my other videos, you would have seen I got given a free set of wheels, so the R888s are fitted to those now. But I'll be taking them with me anyway, because you never know. We might get a nice hot sunny day and I'll throw them on there and throw caution to the wind. But I'll probably go on the safe side. I mean, they've been sat for a little while, so I'd like to have had a nice hot day to kind of get a heat cycle through them. But that's pretty good. I've dug out this stuff as well, so if you've seen my last video, you've just seen the Slug made 47 horsepower, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's quite a big percentage over what I thought it was going to be. But just to freshen it up a little bit, those plugs have been in there for a while now. So again, with a load of other free parts that I got given ages ago for the 899, instead of these 4 core plugs that are brand new, they were in the disassembled block that I got, and head, etc. So yeah, I'm going to throw them in there. That'll freshen that up a little bit. I've already pulled the rear seat out. I actually leave the back in to fold down, because it makes it a lot easier when you're like stacking the back full of parts and stuff for a track day. But if I get really serious when I'm there, I'll unbolt that as well, and then just bolt it back in to come home. But one of the other things I've got is Chris at HAD sold me a rear harness bar / strut bar for a good price. I thought, you know what, stuff it, I'll stick it in the Slug as well. I mean, I don't know how much difference it makes to the stiffness of the shell. I'll just quickly show you now, because it bolts to where when the seat clicks in. So when you push the buttons and the seat folds forward, it bolts across there. So it's kind of above where the suspension that is. I mean, it's negligible. I don't know. One of you can tell me whether you think it ever made a difference. I probably won't notice, I guess, unless it massively strengthens the shallow. But it makes me feel a little bit better being in there, because I mean, would it give much impact if I rolled it? Probably not, but you know, it's all in your head sometimes. It makes you feel good. Just when you think I couldn't take it any more seriously, come check this out. So unlike last time, I've stripped the interior out, and this is a strut bar that I got off Chris Hartwell for a fantastic price. So that's gone in, and I'll be honest with you, I am massively surprised the difference that's made. I took it for a quick spin thinking, oh, do you know what, I know the shells on these aren't particularly stiff, but it ain't going to make that much difference. It genuinely does. Like, I'm not even saying that just to like, because it's in my head. I chucked around a couple of corners, and you can now feel there's just no flex, or a lot less flex in the back now. So I'm buzzing with that. It's, you know, it's a bit heavy, but I mean, I've taken the seat out, which weighs an absolute ton. So yeah, so one of the other jobs I have to do is I've noticed the previous owner absolutely wrecked. I've told you this before, like wrecked loads of stuff on it, but the seat is completely collapsed. Like if you stand at the back and look at it, I might actually pop a picture up. You can just see it's lent and the frame's all busted. I've got no idea what he's done, but I mean, all right. I mean, chances of me hopefully having a crash or doing anything bad in this is slim, because I'm going to try and take it steady, but I don't fancy my chances in that seat if it's wrecked. So probably what I'm going to do is nick the seat out of the turbo for now, and then pop that in the Slug, because this is more comfortable and more safe. Because I am contemplating the idea of putting a nice bucket seat in the turbo one anyway. So we'll see. So I'll definitely pull that death trap that's in there now out. Yeah, I'll chuck the nice new one in there. So that's one more job. It's only 4 bolts. Just take about 10 minutes. Well, it wouldn't be a Fiat day without me bleeding, but the nice thing about these 899 engines is the spark plugs are at the front, especially when you've got a turbo one when they're at the back. It's a massive pain in the butt. Now these are actually not looking, focus, they're not actually looking too bad at all. So I'll take these as spares anyway, but I'll chuck the other ones on since they're new. I'll just chuck these in a bag, and if I bust a spark plug at any point, we can chuck them on there. So just 2 more to go and I'm done. Right, so that's everything done. I just got to load the car up now. We're leaving at 6:45 in the morning, but I've done as much preparation as I can. Like, everything's in the garage waiting ready to go in the back of the car, so I'm going to dump everything in, watch it get progressively lower to the floor. But I said, yep, grabbing Dave about 6:45 in the morning, so I'm going to get a good night's sleep and then send it in the morning,
do what we always do, keep everything crossed, and have as much fun as I possibly can. So see you in the morning.
Right, here we go. First time out. I have no idea if you can hear me. We've got all sorts coming up today, very much an MX5 day today, because it is, after all, an MX5 event. Some proper fruity stuff here, but some really interesting stuff. This thing was absolutely flying around earlier on. I'm pretty certain it's supercharged by the sound of it, and he's running semi-slicks, which is obviously tells you something about it. But no, we've got loads and loads and loads of interesting stuff. The green group's just about to head out. Got my mate Rob's new R26 Megane, which by all accounts is doing pretty well actually. He said it makes a change having a car with a load of torque. He usually drives a Integra engine Del Sol, but he's having problems with it at the moment. But no, it's all going pretty well. I've just been out for my first session, and it was bone dry and just starting to dry up. But as you can tell from the umbrella, it's absolutely raining and hammering it down now. But so I do feel sorry for a little bit in the Lotus. so I've got to make sure I don't get driven over or killed here. But no, all in all, the Slug is doing well. Tyres held up pretty good. So we can go back out and absolutely send it like before. See what happens. Dude! Oh man, it's been a sick day so far. I actually can't get over how much fun I'm having doing this, but the Slug's doing wicked. I've been out, people have actually commented, it seems like it's getting on alright. I'm just down here by the S-bend, which I'll be honest with you, is actually quite a tricky corner to get right, because if you go a little bit too wide on one, it messes you up for the other 3 corners then, but I've done alright so far. My old as hell Uniroyal Rain Sports are actually doing really good, but I don't know if you can see behind me, but there is a big old rain cloud coming, so I've been lucky so far, so both my sessions have been in the dry. I don't think I'm going to get quite as lucky with that this time round, but I don't mind. It's actually alright. I mean, there's a lot of MX-5s here, so the wet weather bothers them a little bit more than it does me. But no, honestly, it's been so good. I'm so tired out already. It's that seat again, like hanging on for dear life. And if anything, even more than I did last time, because I'm actually getting some decent speeds this time. So I'm probably going second for like quite a lot of it. And I get third up onto the back straight, and then I go straight through the S chicane, still in third, so about 7,000 revs, I think. And then basically down third all off onto the straight, and then third all the way down the end, so I hit about 75. As you can hear, people are actually really giving it some, but the rain's already started. They're going to do open pits now until 1, so that's about 20 minutes. And then stop for lunch, and I think that it's open pits for the rest of the day, which would be good, because you've got to kind of judge it based on the weather and stuff. They let 10 cars out now, the group session was only 5. But we'll see how we get on. Just been out in Nick's Mini, so Nick's the person that actually organised the event. It's about 250 horsepower Mini, I believe it's supercharged, well, at least it is by the sound of it. Hello mate. And it was absolutely sick. I'll be honest, like the brakes on it are ridiculous. Like I thought my face was going to come off, and it was very, very hot in there. It got very warm very fast, so I'm a bit knackered out now. I probably should have took a bit of a break, but no, it was epic. Definitely showed me a few of the lines that I should be taking. So I'm going to give that a try on this run. Might try and get out of the open pit lane before it starts raining, but there's at least 2 cars in the queue, so we'll see how we get on. Well, it's absolutely chucking it down. As you can see, I've got my umbrella. Me and Dave are sat cowering, but we're stopping at 1 anyway for a break. It's open pits at the minute, but I'm not queuing up because it'll be over in a second. Fingers crossed it dries out, but it's definitely going to bother the rear-wheel drive boys more than it will me. We'll see how we get on, but yeah. British weather, or Welsh weather I should say. Right, there are some proper cool cars here today. There's a few, and I really love this one. It just sits really nice. And I'll be honest, this is kind of like the level of cars that are actually here today. Like everything's pretty tidy. Obviously if you're into MX-5, this is the kind of place you want to be. But if you're not, then maybe it won't be. But I don't mind me an MX-5, especially when you've got things like this as well. Now, he did get a little bit of a telling off earlier on for something. I think he might have got a little bit sideways. He's got these like REM kind of style slashes on it, which I like. I love the REM like RX-7s, but no, that's pretty good. I think I'd probably prefer it from the front. The MR2 looks like pretty decent as well. He said he's not really done a huge amount to that one. So I was mentioning about doing the Toyota swap on it, but actually, he said he's probably just going to stick some cams on it. It seems to be pretty reliable, man. Like he said, it's his second one, or at least it's his second engine, I think, potentially in it. Otherwise, this is the Mini Nick took me out in. This thing's running about 250. Sounds insane as well. So he's still rocking the supercharger, the M45, the old Eaton bad boy. Which weirdly, I actually bought one of those years ago to put on a Cinquecento when I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I've got to say the brakes on that thing were ridiculous. Like when he jumped on them, I thought, yeah, I know I already said this, but wow, they were mental. Look, we've got that, like, it looks like some sort of sprint series, like Focus or something, but that thing was absolutely screaming around. Little Boxster, didn't expect to see one of them today. And then this Beamer, I don't know anything about this Beamer, but it's got a serious cage in it. Just about see it in there for those tinted windows, I think. No, it's decent. He came on a trailer with a serious set of tyres, so he's been in business today. Yeah, that's nice. And this thing as well, you know me. I absolutely love a small car, but check this out. That is a cheeky little setup. Loving this. He was absolutely gunning it round earlier on without a roof on, which is brave. Not that the roof's going to do a lot anyway, but you know, I would definitely want to cage in one of them if I had it. But I'm definitely brewing a few ideas for a small little key car at some point, but we'll have to see, because a few of the ones I've looked at, absolute rust traps, so we'll have to try and see how we get on. But that's pretty much it. A load of people have already gone home. Don't really know why, it's only 1:30. We're probably going to stick it out for one more session and then I'll call it a day then. So I don't feel I actually mentioned this, but with all the stuff in, these wheels were scrubbing like mad. So every single time we hit a bump on the way down here, they just got completely like scrubbed the whole way for the whole 2 hours. So it was a bit nervy. So we're going to stick the 13s on the way home. And fingers crossed, we won't get any scraping this time. We have to constantly grimace every time that I go anywhere near a corner. Oh, actually, speaking of the devil, they haven't gone home. We thought they'd actually all gone home for the day, but it looks like they'd obviously just gone out maybe to get some food or something. That white one is absolutely destructive around the track. I don't know what it's running, I'm pretty certain it's on a supercharger, but that thing was catching people fast. Otherwise, the track's looking pretty good. It was hammering it down, but it's actually looking right at the moment. And it actually doesn't seem to hold water at all on here. So like I said, I just want to try and get one more session out. I'm pretty certain it ends in about 15 minutes lunch, and then we can do it. But I want to try and get gone by 3 really, like that's with the wheels on, loaded up and everything. So I've got about 1 hour and 40 minutes to get home. So I want to try and get home by 5 really. I'm starting to run out of energy already. But no, what a sick day. You'll get a full post breakdown later on, I am sure. But the Slug is doing sick at the moment.
See you in a bit.
I survived, but you may actually realise that it's not the same day because one, it's raining, it wasn't when I was on the way back, and I've changed my clothes, and that's because I filmed a very nice, I think, outro yesterday on the outcome of the day. I thought I worded it perfectly. I was proper enthusiastic about it, albeit really tired, and my throat was gone. But then I realised when I watched the video back that my Bluetooth or my wireless microphone had run out of juice, which was lovely. So I'm back out here again today, and the first thing I want to say is a massive shout out to Nick Horn, who organised the event, Horny Racing. Another massively calm, casual day. Everyone kind of knows each other a little bit, so that just means everyone that goes out on the track just doesn't give anybody a hard time. No one's trying to prove anything. It was just proper chilled out, and even the Llandow Circuit, which I've been told is Llandow, I think, in Welsh. But let's not try to speak Welsh when I've got no idea what I'm saying. The boys there were perfect as well, and the girls, there was a few girls working there as well, were proper relaxed. You know, they did the noise regs on the way in, and after that, it was just a little bit of a joke with them and a laugh. They just pulled a couple of people up if they were getting a little bit carried away. Otherwise, it was perfect. And a massive shout out to anyone I met on the day as well. Like, I got a lot of compliments on the car. It was nice that people were saying, you know, they don't see these very much. And it actually looked wicked going around the corners and stuff when they were following behind me. And another one and done. I filled the car up. I did about 3/4 of a tank of fuel to leave, and I put the other quarter in a jerry can. I went an hour and 50 minutes there. Then I did about 3 15-minute sessions flat out, and then an hour and 45 minutes back. And my light just came on the way back into my town. So, again, another cheap day out. And the rain sports as well. I mean, it highlights again how light the car is because, I mean, people were battering their tyres. I mean, mine definitely look a lot thinner than they did when I left. But the rain sports are perfect. Damp, wet conditions, I don't see how I'm going to get a better tyre than that. So I'm pretty certain I'll get a new set of those to go on the 14s at some point. And then I'll get some Yokkos to go on the 13s. Is a little bit more of a kind of, because they're better for acceleration and stuff in the dry. So, and again, that Llandow Circuit, if you're thinking of going your first track day ever and you live anywhere near it, couldn't recommend it enough. The visibility is great on all the corners. It's not too fast, but it's not too slow. It's like difficult enough in places, but some of the corners are quite easy to get the grips with. Not a lot of runoff in places, I'll be honest, but it didn't ever really ever feel like I was going to get in that kind of state. But no, it's absolutely fantastic on the day. There's a nice mix of cars as well. I think my mate Rob had a good time in his Megane, which he's just recently got. I think his tyres got a bit cooked, mine, but it's a lot bigger, heavier car than mine anyway. And I'm very much looking forward to going back. Now, I learn something every time I go to one of these things, about this car, admittedly. I mean, I've got a lot to learn about the turbo when that finally gets up and running. I still maintain I could go straight out again, exactly the same setup, and have just as much fun and no more problems, you know, I hope. But I do learn something. So the one thing that killed me on the day was just hanging on again without a bucket seat. I did say this in my Kerber sprint day as well, but the main thing I noticed on this is because the speeds were a lot higher, where I was having to hold on so much. There was times when I had the grip and I had the line right, I just couldn't get any more lock on the wheel because I was having to hold on so much. So I'm absolutely going to put a bucket seat in this car, and even if it just comes in and out for track days, so I don't have to like be uncomfortable all the time. I've got a little complimentive Cobra seat that I bought for like £10. It's faded and a bit wrecked, but it's all right. It's in good shape, like structurally. I've test fitted that in the turbo because it doesn't have a seat in it in a minute, and I've put some bits of wood and stuff on it. It's going to be perfect. But I'm going to put my slight dished wheel on here as well. This one is a little bit kind of smooth. I like it for day-to-day driving, but I think again on the track, just a little bit of a grippier wheel, a little bit more of a dish to bring it close to me will be perfect. Even the brakes, I mean, they were getting hot. My second session, I really did push on. Like, I started braking a lot harder on the end of the straights, and they were pretty toasty, but they didn't fade out. It was only really when I left to drive home they feel a little bit soft, but not much. And that was just because a little bit of heat soak from sitting there, I think. But I'm going to stick some new discs on. These discs are getting on a bit anyway. And my mate Chris sold me some green stuff pads for like next to nothing that he barely used, so I'll chuck them on just because I've got them. And that should button that up lovely. Other than that, though, I mean, I may or may not put the call out for some second-hand uprated shocks for the front to get rid of the sporting ones. They're still a little softer than I would like, but this car's always meant to be old dependable, so I try not to mess with him too much. It's not a due a service. I've hardly done any miles since the new oil went in it, but it's had a couple of, you know, hardish or a hard track day and a sprint day, so I may chuck some new oil in it soon, but otherwise it's running like an absolute champ. But other than that, I can't wait to get the turbo on the road as well, because it's going to be a whole different ball game and a whole different thing. So, you know, like the brakes will be under a lot more pressure than this. And there'll be a lot of other stuff to try and button up on that. But power-wise, I mean, I'm going to start actually being able to chase some people down at these events when that finally gets done. But other than that, I don't know what's going to be next in the worn-out episodes. I've got absolutely no idea at the minute, but I've got a lot of plans and things coming up, so it'll kind of write itself, I guess. Massive shout out to everyone who's been watching the videos and putting nice comments up, sending me messages saying how much they're enjoying it, or asking my advice on stuff, or running stuff past me. Now it's been wicked. I've sold a load more clothes and stuff and stickers recently as well. I think I sold a hoodie and some masks and everything as well, which is good. So if you've bought one, absolutely stick it on your Instagram or Facebook and tag me, because I'd love to see what they look like. And I don't normally say this, but if you know anybody who think like the videos or really wants to get into budget track dark cars or likes Fiats, or you just think they'll enjoy it, then share it, send it to them, get them to watch it, because I'd love to get more people involved with this kind of stuff. And apart from that, though, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it, because it was absolutely wicked. It's going to take some effort, I think, editing all the footage. And lastly, just a massive shout out to Dave. Like, he's always been my wingman for this kind of stuff. We've done a lot of like Goodwood Festival of Speed trips and like going down to Brooklands and things like that. And he's been on my last couple of track days. He's helping like grabbing wheels and like helping me like getting stuff ready when we left and packing the car, taking photos and videos. He's sick at taking photos and stuff. Like, he gets some real nice shots of my car and just entertaining me on the whole way. So yeah, very much look forward to going to another one with him. And I think he's still contemplating maybe getting himself a little track weapon. But on that last note, thank you all for watching. I will see you very soon on another episode of Worn Out Racing.